Welcome back. It's a pretty incredible and unique story of lost and found and never giving up hope. Ed Aten lost his AirPods at a massive event and was determined to find out what became of them. And it didn't happen days or weeks ago. They were lost years ago now. But don't laugh, he found them. So take a quick listen to the story he shared on social media.
A nice woman came to the door. She said hello, and I said, you know, this is going to be really weird. But 2 years ago at Burning Man, I lost my AirPods. And I was curious if by any chance you might know where the AirPods are, or if you've had anyone from Denver recently arrive at your house. And she said, it's my son.
Ed is here with me now live. You know what, Ed, this story hits close to home. I just lost some AirPods in June, and I don't want to give up hope. But first, tell us about the start of this story. The day you lost your AirPods, how did this all begin?
Yeah, well, I was there. I was at Burning Man having a great time. Unfortunately, my father-in-law was actually sick with pancreatic cancer. We thought he was going to be okay, but I had to leave last minute, and I just kind of shuffled out of town to get back to be with him, and clearly didn't pack well enough and left those AirPods behind. Clearly, get back to town, instantly realize, like anyone who's lost their AirPods, you're, an hour away from them when you notice they're gone. And unfortunately, there was no going back for them. So I bought a new pair and just, thought I was going to move on. But that's, clearly not how the story ended up playing out.
Okay, so why didn't you just move on? Why did you not give up on these AirPods?
Well, I'm a big fan of, keeping track of like my wife or my friends on Find My Friends. And one day I just opened up the Find My app on my iPhone, and all of a sudden there they were, my AirPods that I thought had been at Burning Man. And they were there right on the app, showing them at Burning Man still. And I realized I got to keep checking on these. The battery is still active. They have some type of connection. So I just kept tracking them from there.
And so talk about the places you saw these AirPods go. They were tracked in different places, right?
Oh, man, they went all over. I even sometimes caught them while they were flying through the air. But they spent a lot of time in Denver. They were in Iowa. They were in South Carolina. There was a point at which they were, traveling across the desert in Utah. We saw them all over. And, they'd land somewhere, be there for a couple days, maybe a week. Sometimes they disappear for a month or two, and then all of a sudden show up. We caught them once walking down the street in New York City at 2 a.m. It was pretty exciting. A lot of us were pretty excited about that one. But they went all over the United States.
And so then you saw them here, locally. What was that moment like? And then walk us to what happened recently when you finally reconnected with these AirPods.
So they've been traveling all over, but they'd also take breaks, right? It turned out these were this gentleman's backup AirPods. So they would run out of batteries. I wouldn't see them for weeks or months. And one day went to check on them. And bam, there they were, 19-something miles from where I currently was. I saw them in Santa Rosa, couldn't tell exactly which house they were in, but could narrow it down to a pretty specific area in the street. I told my wife, we started laughing about it. She said, you should go get them. Apparently she was joking, because when I told her the next day that I'd actually gone and gotten them, she was shocked. But, they were so close. There were so many people excited by the story. I just thought, hey, let's go knock on a couple doors and see what happens.
I mean, what was going through your mind, though, as you're going up to knock on these doors? Did you have any fear? It's a pretty bold move to go and do that.
Well, I'd done a lot of campaigning for my sister-in-law, Arielle Kelly, in some of her political events. So I knew knock on the door, step away from the door, give people space. Don't, try not to be intimidating, be friendly. So I'd knocked on a lot of doors in my time. So I wasn't worried about that. I was mostly worried that the people weren't going to be home. I'd gotten excited. I posted to everyone. I said, this is going to be the season finale. Here we go. Not really thinking through the probably 98% chance that we were not going to find the AirPods. And as soon as I started knocking on doors, I thought, oh no, I'm really going to let all these people down. But that's obviously not what happened. I knocked on the door. This really cute dog came and greeted me at the door. And then, as you saw in that clip, I met the woman who ended up being the mother of the guy who had the AirPods.
And so the story was that his dad had given him the AirPods. Fill us in with what had happened, how this person came into contact with them.
Yeah, so there's still some mystery here, definitely did not admit to their dad being at Burning Man. So there's still some mystery there. They said that he was a golfer, that he may have gotten them somewhere at the club. But, I I didn't hammer them for hard details. I was just so excited to have them back in my possession. But the dad had found them and apparently not needed an extra pair, so he gave them to his son, and his son, who unbelievably was named Chance, had been carrying these AirPods around the country for 2 years, and actually was just stopping home to see his parents before he went to London this week. So we would have had our first international trip if we hadn't have found him, but luckily we were able to see him again and kind of have some resolution to the story.
I love it. And so before we run out of time, I want to point out that the AirPods you're wearing now are not the AirPods we're talking about. You actually did something meaningful with those AirPods in exchange for them, if that makes sense. Talk about who's now being helped because of these AirPods being found.
I'd been tracking the AirPods for about a year before I actually posted about them, and people started following. And when people started following, we just realized this was, something that really people felt good about, and people liked following, and it was fun. And when I met the young man who's, named Chance, I said, hey, I'm not going to take these AirPods back. Clearly, I've replaced them. But, let's have some more good come out of this. How would you feel about, making a donation to the Redwood Empire Food Bank? He said he would do it. I went ahead and donated. And then there's a bunch of people online who have also said they've donated. And just, trying to continue this, snowball of good rolling down the hill. So that's what we did.
Yeah, you're giving all of us hope who have lost AirPods that we might be able to find them. Maybe we can go about it in a safe way, too, like you did. But there's a lot of hope out there, and you're helping out a great cause. So I know it's very meaningful. Are you happy with how this story turned out? Satisfied now?
Oh, I'm so happy. It's, clear it's brought a lot of people joy. And if we can also help people suffering from food insecurity, that's even better. So anyone watching this, if you feel excited or touched, yeah, go make a donation, too. You feel good. It's great.
Ed, thank you so much for joining us. We've loved this story and following it. We really appreciate your time. And Tim Johns is going to have more with you at 11 p.m. tonight. So thank you for talking with us.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Coming up, a historic week kicking off in Chicago. Up next.